Trunews, the only newscast reporting the countdown to the second coming of Jesus Christ. And now for the most powerful hour on radio, here is End Time Newsman, Rick Wiles.
Well, this is True News for Wednesday, May 18, 2011. Welcome to the program. I'm Rick Wiles. You will hear explosive new information about Barry Soetoro for the very first time ever. I will introduce to you a man who stumbled upon a treasure chest of hidden data and information about the Mac Daddy in the White House, the street hustler who goes publicly by the name Barack Hussein Obama. This is the first time the information has been broadcast on radio or TV. You will be hearing it for the first time. In fact, I will be hearing it for the first time, too. I have a general idea about what he discovered, but I have not personally talked with this man. Now, here's the irony. The gentleman who discovered the information voted for the Mac Daddy in 2008. Now he feels deceived and betrayed, and he wants the rest of America and the world to know what he discovered about Obama's hidden past. Now, if the information this man has in his possession is true, the FBI is obligated to arrest Obama in the White House and take him to a federal detention center. And if the information is true, it means that Obama has a network of criminal accomplices who have assisted him for decades to hide his identity. The conspiracy to enable Barack and Michelle Obama to commit real estate and mortgage fraud, to falsely use multiple Social Security numbers and file documents under false names, requires a network of people in high places with access to government files and databases. I am convinced more than ever that Barack Hussein Obama is a foreign plant inside the USA for subversive purposes. Now, for security and privacy reasons, I will not give out this gentleman's name or location. I will simply refer to him as Al. Once again, I encourage you to distribute this radio program to everybody you know. Post it on Facebook and every online forum you visit. Email the MP3 file to your friends and associates and encourage them to do likewise. We need to shine light on the darkness. Welcome back to True News. I'm Rick Wiles. When it became evident in 2007 that dark, sinister forces were propelling an unknown Illinois politician to run for the presidency of the United States of America, True News began to investigate and expose the unexplainable, mysterious past of Barack Hussein Obama and his close association over many years with known domestic terrorists, dangerous extremists, radicals, and communists. True News has been in the forefront of the battle to penetrate the news media blackout about Obama's true identity, such as the fact that he has operated for decades with another name, Barry Soetoro. Whatever you call this imposter in the White House, Barry Soetoro, Barack Obama, the Mac Daddy, the presidential pimp, the Chicago street hustler, he is a man without a past. People with money and clout have assisted Obama in covering up his earlier years. My guest today is a young family man, a Christian, who recently stumbled upon startling information about Barack Obama. For privacy and security purposes, I will not reveal his name or location. I will simply refer to him as Al. He is a professional debt collector. A client hired him to locate a debtor and collect the money. In the course of tracking down the debtor, he unexpectedly found Michelle Obama's name. As he pursued the connection, the trail got darker and more sinister. Now, for the record, this man, Al, voted for Barack Obama in 2008. He is not a partisan opponent of Barack Obama. He is an American citizen who is outraged that Obama lied to him and the nation about his true identity. Now, this is the first time this information has been broadcast on radio or TV. You and I are hearing it together for the first time. So let's bring Al onto the program and let him tell us what he discovered about this lying scoundrel in the White House. Al, welcome to True News.
Hello, sir. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Okay, so by profession, you're a debt collector, and you were working on a case. You were trying to get information about an individual who owed money to companies, and somehow Barack Obama came into this story. Tell us how this all started.
Well, yes, sir. Actually, it was on one of the nights that I actually choose, to go ahead and do my skip tracing. Because as part of my business, we have to.
What's skip tracing?
We have to verify the names and addresses of our debtors.
What's skip tracing?
Skip tracing is a means by which we actually ascertain the location, names, addresses, verify Social Security numbers, verify previous addresses, verify friends, relatives, of the individuals that that we're actually skip tracing, for the debt.
Okay. So the first process is to make sure that the person you are zeroing in on is the actual debtor that you want.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Okay. So you were working on another case involving another individual, and did this individual live in Washington or Chicago? What's the connection? Chicago. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Go ahead and pick up the story.
Sure. And so what I was doing was, obviously, when I couldn't find a relative, new phone number or current phone number, for the individual, then you start backtracing, and so you start, through the software, you start hitting the database that has information for their addresses, their phone numbers, their relatives, the associates of the same address, so forth and so on, and then all of their information, is compiled, and then it's pulled. We call it, pulling the data.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I was pulling this data off of Everett Avenue, there in Chicago, lo and behold, Michelle Obama's name pops up. And so in the middle of the night, when you're doing these things, you just really don't have time, because you kind of don't want to lose track. So I just kept on going. And
now, did Michelle Obama's name come up as a neighbor of this debtor?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Back in the 90s, back in the 1990s.
All right.
And so anyway, so as I was finished, I clicked back, just out of curiosity, I clicked on her name, and then obviously Barack Obama pulled up. And then his alias pulled up as well, that was attached to his Social Security number.
What do you mean, his alias?
Yes, sir. When individuals apply for anything, or sign a form, sign an application, whatever, pretty much they use a name, it's associated with that address and that Social Security number.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently at one time, as of 2009, actually as of November 2009, the alias Bounell Harrison J, or Harrison J. Bounell, was actually used with Barack Obama's Social Security number and his address of 5046 South Greenwood Avenue, Chicago, Illinois, 60615.
Harrison J. Bounell?
Bounell, B-O-U-N-E-L.
B-O-N?
B-O-U-N-E-L.
Harrison J. Bounell.
Or the alias Harrison J. Bounell.
I've never heard this. I thought you were going to say Barry Soetoro.
No, sir. Actually, I looked up Barry Soetoro, and I couldn't find it. It doesn't exist anymore.
Okay, and what's the street address again?
5046 South Greenwood Avenue, Chicago, Illinois, 60615. And actually, at the time, I didn't even know what his home address was. So all this to me was like, hitting me, just like a brick wall. I didn't even know.
This is new to me. I have never heard the name Harrison J. Bounell.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That was the irony. That was the first anomaly that I discovered, because it's sharing Barack Obama's Social Security number. and his home address and the home phone number as well.
Okay, so the Harrison J. Bounell, it's not just that Harrison J. Bounell is connected to the address where Michelle and Barack Obama live. You could say, okay, somewhere out there is a Harrison J. Bounell who lived there at some time and got his mail at 5046 South Greenwood Avenue, Chicago. But you're saying that the name Harrison J. Bounell shares the same Social Security number as Barack Hussein Obama?
Yes, sir, the exact one. But because what I did was, in order to double-check these things, I have a way that I can backtrack it. And so when I took the Social Security number by itself and entered it into, my search screen, it reverted back and it pulled up Barack H. Obama, Harrison J. Bounell, or Bounell Harrison J. at the same time. It gave me two results for the same social.
Okay, so what happened then?
Well, I'm sitting there and I'm looking at it. I said, well, from my own experience, when you have multiple names with one Social Security number, I look at it, and well, I mean that's the way that we're taught really is to look at it as a case of either stolen identity, okay, or someone using his social, or he let somebody use that social. Okay, that's what I was looking at. Actually, I look at it from the standpoint of proving proving the anomaly, not taking it for granted that it existed. I had to prove it. Okay. And so when I clicked on Bounell Harrison J's relatives, Michelle Obama pulled up.
Oh, boy.
Her name pulled up as a relative of Bounell Harrison J. And it showed up with her social, her spouse's, her cell phone numbers, and the address, 5046 South Greenwood, as of October 2010. So when that happens, that tells me one thing, okay, that whoever this Bounell Harrison J person is, or Harrison J Bounell, when they associated themselves with Michelle Obama and the 5046 South Greenwood Avenue address. So I clicked on the home address. I clicked on the 5046 South Greenwood. And when I pulled up that information, it showed me two separate owners of the house, not the Obamas.
Okay, so the house that Obama's living in, or was living in, 5046 South Greenwood, it's not owned by the Obamas. Who owns the house?
A judge by the name of Jane L. Stewart. She's a circuit court judge in Chicago, and she is also an Obama contributor. And a Mr. Harvey Weinberg, who is a partner in the firm that handles Obama's taxes.
How about that? His tax lawyer.
Yes. His accountant, actually.
His tax accountant owns the house.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, as per my national property search. And it is with the accounting firm of Weinberg, Solomon, Howell, and Shane.
Weinberg, Solomon?
Weinberg, Solomon, Howell, and Shane.
And what was the circuit court judge's name?
Jane L. Stewart. And so when I did a backtrack search on her name, I actually keyed her name into my database, and it pulled up her owning 5046 South Greenwood.
And does she spell Stewart, S-T-E-W-A-R-T, or U-A-R-T?
No, sir. It's S-T-U-A-R-t.
Oh, okay. And she shows up at the same house?
Yes, sir, on a different search.
Okay.
On a separate search that I did on her name.
All right. What else did you find?
Well, the house itself has had, let me get to my record real quick. I have to pull this up, and excuse me for that. The house itself has had 6 different PIN numbers associated with the property itself.
What do you mean PIN numbers? What do you mean?
It's a property identification number, and it's a number that is assigned to a piece of property. And as per the Cook County Recorder of Deeds, it's a number that never changes. However, the house itself has had 6 property identification numbers associated, within the past maybe 6 years.
Okay, you're saying as far as Cook County, to say clerk of court or register, that the PIN, the property identification number,